See, Diego and Fabia, you obviously know the situation there. They split, and Fabia just went off the rocker on just trashing Diego, called him a drug addict, said he's addicted to like 30 substances, said he had sexual abuse problems. I mean, he's just like trashing him as much as he can.
That sounds like a good friend, doesn't it? That sounds like a real guy that's looking out. You know, that's the guy. That's the guy you want in your corner in your life. The first sign of any trouble and anything, the guy throws you right under the bus, and he plays the victim. Listen, I smelt a piece of shit the second that guy walked over to my table in fucking Abu Dhabi. The second I realized what was going on there, I'm like, and that's before any of these other videos came out. Yeah. I didn't really have nothing really against the guy besides him being a wacky guy. But first of all, I didn't see it, but I heard that you talked to him for a long time. You, Mike Swick, you're a good guy, dude. You're a nice guy.
You heard about the 50-minute that I didn't say a single word?
Oh, dude, that's amazing. Though. I didn't listen to it. I'm not gonna. Who the fuck's gonna listen to that thing? I heard you go. Yeah. I saw your headline. You go, oh, Josh Fabia talks for an hour or some shit. I go, oh yeah. Well, who the fuck's gonna listen? I don't think that's gonna drive up your views with an hour of that guy.
It was me. It was a Diego podcast. He jumped in about 1 hour in, and then started going off on everybody. And I could have jumped in and said something, but I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to let him talk. Cause I mean, it was so crazy. Like the stuff he was saying, I'm like, someone's going to find this interesting. And I didn't know it was going to go for 50 minutes. It was like 52 minutes. I didn't say a single word. Matt, I stared at the screen like this for 52 minutes. He didn't stop.
That guy, when he came over to the table, myself and Dean Thomas, he didn't even care that I was already just shit. Like I started to shit on the guy. He didn't care that I was already. He just liked that there was a conversation going on. Yeah. He would have stayed. It didn't come to the point. What they missed in that video? You saw the video with me and that guy?
I didn't see you and him. No.
It got a lot of views. I hate to say the guy's name. Could you edit that out? Anyway, but listen, that fucking numbskull. He came over to my table when I was with Dean Thomas. It's on Looking for a Fight or Looking Forward to a Fight, and. It was on Looking for a Fight when I was over in Abu Dhabi. He came over to the table, and it was on the same. It was the same trip where those videos just came out of him going to the fighters meeting and talking to Felder and Megan Levy and them, and being a fucking fool.
I saw that.
So he came over to my table. You never seen this, Mikey? This thing got 1 million views.
I saw him go in there and start talking to Felder and Megan and them, but I didn't see you and him.
All right, when we get done with this, you got to see that.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
It's not even if you. I'm sure you'll see it if you type in my name somewhere on YouTube or something.
How did I miss it, man? I can't believe it.
I came to my fucking table. I don't believe you didn't see this. I came to my table and I thought he worked with the UFC because I believe he had a mask on because we were. It was still, it's obviously COVID. We were in Abu Dhabi and we were at the buffet, and having breakfast. Myself, Dean Thomas, and Brian, Dana's security guy. So we're having coffee. Dude, now you got to understand, Mikey. This is the first time. This was months ago. But this is the first time. I think it's when he got lost to Jake Matthews over there. I'm not positive, though, Diego. But anyway, this was the first time I was able to enjoy a breakfast, a coffee with somebody since the pandemic. So it's over a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this guy comes over and he starts talking and I'm like, hey, how are you, buddy? I'm nice to everybody. I don't recognize. And dude, I don't recognize, unless you're Mike Swick or fucking, I don't recognize anybody. I don't. A lot of times I'll be like, hey, man, like, I'll walk away and my wife be like, who is that? I go, I have no fucking idea. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm trying to be friendly with everybody. Because I figured he worked with the UFC. He looked like a little fucking stagehand or some shit. I don't know. He looked like a guy that, So he had his hat on and a mask. So then he started talking, and then I realized what the fuck I was dealing with. I realized it was that guy. So I didn't do him as this wacky, because he wasn't with Diego, it was by himself. So I'm like, oh, Mike, it was like, oh no, this is that moron. I go, I'm talking to this fucking idiot. I go, no. So I try to be first like diplomatic, like oh no, I understand you have a problem with the media, whatever, and good luck to Diego. Dude, that guy he wasn't stopping. Yeah, he wasn't stopping. He kept going on, mentioned my name, and so I had a little thing with him. You can watch it. I'm not gonna do a play.
I'm watching it. Yeah,
it was funny. But and even after if you see on the thing, it gets to the point where I just tell him you have nothing else to talk about. You're not my type of guy. And by the way, Dean Thomas, we got this. Dean Thomas, that fucking character, is when this guy came over and he saw it getting a little weird. Dean Thomas started videoing it without us knowing. So it ended up you see it on Dana White Looking for a Fight. It's on the episode. But so Dean, that fucking wise guy, he caught this whole thing like a fucking ninja, and he caught the interaction between me and this numbskull, and dude, it got to the point. But when it ended on what they showed on the what the clip that you'll see was me being like, all right, listen, you're not my type of guy. Even after that, which you don't see on camera, is him go. But, he tried to talk more. I go, nothing, man. Nothing else to talk about. Yeah, okay. No. And then he thought I wasn't going to shake his hand. I go, no, I'll shake your hand. Take care. Like that type. That was the only thing they didn't show. So, dude, in other words, that guy would have stayed there.
Yeah.
And still, even I told him, hey, dude, you're not my type of guy. Good luck to you, That guy was still staying to try to debate. That guy will get any type of attention.
Yeah.
But listen. He makes your skin crawl. You talk to this motherfucker. So you gotta listen. You gotta go to you gotta go with your instincts. You watching that video of him talking to Paul Felder and them talking that the way he made that shit. The best in that video, Paul Felder, they handled something great. Paul Felder and everybody. But the best was Angela Hill. Fucking Angela Lee. I'm sorry. There's so many Angelas. Angela Hill. Because she's like, you're making this all about yourself. He's like, well, it might seem that way, but fucking dude, most unself-aware person out there. So I'm so happy that Diego, because Diego's dude. These guys know the guys to fucking. They're not Mike. He's not coming up to you, this guy, and going, hey, Mike. Let me tell you about this AKA Thailand. I could change this whole. Dude, you get that guy, your fucking lightning legs would come up and be like, woo, 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 woo. You'd be kicking him right in the face, get him out of there. Diego is like, oh, maybe this guy will help me. They know who to latch on to. Yeah. And I'm not attacking Diego.
I get it. I understand.
Listen, he's still the guy on that fucking season 1, doing the wacky stuff. So it's like, that you got to remember a guy when you first meet him. It's still that guy. And that doesn't mean he's a great. I think everybody likes Diego. Dude, I think Diego's I just think he just needs the right people around him. And I think that dude was a fucking leech. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm way off, but I don't think so. Sorry, my wife just got home. You hear the peeps in the back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to watch that video. And it's crazy because because so many people are trying to help Diego right now. And I know he was on my podcast. And so he was like, I had the conversation with Dan Hardy just on the last episode, but he was tagging because he was on my podcast and because I let him talk, Diego, and then I let Fabio talk, or Fabia, whatever. They were tagging me on all their stories and stuff. So they were doing all this stuff where they were making fun of you and Dana and Joe Rogan for growth hormone tests, all this bullshit and stuff. But they were tagging me on there because he was on my podcast and he was trying to come back on my podcast, and I didn't want to do this controversial shit, right? And so but I was still tagged on all this stuff. And I'm like, people are seeing my tag and they're probably wondering does he support this or does he not? And I support Diego, but I was just trying to wrap my head around it because it was until the podcast that I really understood something was going on, and there was some shit going kind of off there. And then from that point on, I was just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on and who this guy is after I sat there for an hour and didn't say a word, and he trashed everybody. He said that Winklejohn gave his fighters lazy eye because he had a lazy eye. This was part of the hour of him talking, right? He literally said that he transferred his lazy eye to the fighters while holding pads. I'm not even making this up. That's just one. That's like a minute of the hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, that guy's a quack.
Yeah.
And it's great if there's no fighters that are ever going to align with stuff with that guy. They'd have to be just an imbecile. But listen, man, that guy I'm sure will weasel himself in somewhere, but. Just to do that. Listen. It's good now. Maybe the worst is over, and hopefully Diego could just get some better people around him. And it's funny. I seen one of those things that you talk about. Diego tagged me in something, but I didn't take any. I didn't look at that and go, "Oh, that fucking Diego." I blocked him because I don't like negativity. And I'm like, that's 100% this other guy. That's not
for sure.
I
mentioned
really
that to
don't
him
think,
too.
I would hold nothing against Diego.
No.
Diego, I think, is a victim in this fucking thing. You know, I'm not stupid enough to be like, oh my God, Diego, how could you disrespect me? Diego, I hope lands on his feet in this whole thing, and I think he can. I think he's got a. I think at the end of the day, I'm sure I think he's a positive, good-hearted guy, Diego, and I think there's just guys out there that just know they know the guys that'll be trusting with, and maybe not have the people around them to let you know if you don't see that this guy's shady or this guy's a little off or what everybody else is kind of feeling, you're not feeling that. You know, it takes the people around you to say, hey, man, dude, I don't know about this fucking guy. So it's good. Hey, man, hopefully it's in the past for Diego.
And the thing is like, last couple of podcasts, we kind of like talked about this and trashed him out a little bit, but it's not that I'm just trying to trash someone out. I stay away from negativity too, but it's the point of like, I got through my UFC career without too many of these type of guys. So I wasn't used to it. But when I got into business, it was the same situation with these type of people, right? Like it was the worst I've ever seen. Business is way worse than fighting when it comes to this kind of thing. And so now I see this happening more with guys like Fabia. He's obviously the worst case scenario. So I just want to make it clear as much as I can through this platform. And as we talk about this in the last guest and with you, just to make it aware so that fighters understand and have their caution up, because like when people come and approach them as their fighters, as when you're in the spotlight, you were the champ, obviously, and you're big and you're winning fights, there's a lot of people that come up to you and they want to help you and they want to do things and stuff. So if we can just help like get a little bit more, people a little bit more cautious about how they trust people and let people in their inner circle, I think it's going to help, because, this was a situation where Diego let him in too deep, and now Diego's just getting trashed out all his personal information, and Fabia is just bashing him, man. It's just the worst thing ever, to see what he did. And he's saying that Diego took advantage of him, which is crazy, because he's the founder of the School of Self-Awareness, but he was not aware that Diego took advantage of him for 2 years. But that was his first excuse, that Diego took advantage of him for 2 years. And it's just like,
could anybody picture Diego like taking advantage of somebody?
No,
I just can't.
He can't. Of course not.
I can't do it. And there's personally in my life, there's people who I feel, and you in life you're gonna go through things where people wronged you. You feel, but does that mean I go out there and start fucking bashing them and saying personal? No, you don't do that. That reveals your own character or lack of.
Yeah.
So you just be like, all right. My circle's a little smaller now. And as you get older, what I find my immediate circles just get smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? I don't need any new people in that circle, because you don't need, listen, less. I like to simplify life. I really do. I like just positivity. And if there's, and it's a lot of it's cliche, like, well, there's negativity in your life, you cut it out like a cancer. You hear stupid shit like that, but there's something to it.
Yeah,
there really is.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody at my academy, which is kind of putting a damper on the crowd, or bringing an element which I don't really like the vibe, or anything, you got to remove that shit. A person that doesn't like his life so much, he's venting to you, but somebody's venting to you like you're a fucking therapist, man. It's like, yo, dude, you got to see a therapist. Like you gotta simplify your life. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm using this as my platform to vent. But I'll
sit there for 50 minutes, bro. I've done it. Go ahead. I'm good. I'm well trained, dude. If Fabia did anything, he taught me patience.
That guy taught you something.
He taught me something. I'm not even involved.
Man, listen. All I know is when any kind of spotlight, whether it's fucking, come on, man. I was just watching that Freddie Mercury movie the other day, and you got that little Weasley guy that was answering the phones, and next thing you know, he started fucking flirty with Freddie.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's fucking bail. No, you're the guy that should be doing it. Dude, there's always that guy.
Yeah.
It's in everything. It's every part of, like, it comes with success. You know that great saying. Don't make me say that great quote from that great philosopher. With great power comes great responsibility. Come on, who said that, Mikey? Huh? Who was it? Jesus? Who? No, it was Ben Parker from
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
I never
He
knew
said,
that.